That simply does not happen. In fact, the American Immigration Council of Heritage examined U.S. elections dating back to the 1980s. Only 68 cases were found involving non-citizens voting. Only 10 of those cases involved undocumented immigrants, far from enough to sway any election outcome. It's also important to remind you that federal law prohibits non-citizens from voting, period. Trump's bogus claims and scapegoating of immigrants has real-life consequences, like we're seeing play out this week in Ohio. Simply put, Donald Trump is lying and putting people in danger because he doesn't have the courage to admit defeat. He will not do so this November if he loses again. We know that. We know that because 4 years later, Trump will not admit that President Joe Biden beat him fair and squarely in 2020. But Trump's antics are more dangerous this time around because he has spent the past 4 years building an apparatus to amplify his election denialisms should he lose. In fact, just last month, Georgia's GOP-controlled election board approved a new rule that makes it easier to delay certification of the election. Republicans have filed more than 100 lawsuits across the country against various voting and election procedures, all based off of Trump's 2020 fraud claims. Now, Trump's campaign and the Republican National Committee brag about building a network of 175,000 volunteer poll watchers and workers. And as we heard last night, Trump is encouraging his supporters to be on the lookout for cheating Democrats. Let's not forget right-wing media, too, which is falling in line with Trump by recruiting election deniers, not journalists, to help them cover this election. So Trump's perfect storm is brewing. The question now for all of us is how we, as a country, navigate it. Starting us off this hour, Republican strategist Susan Del Percio and Basil Smikle, professor of practice at the School of Professional Studies at Columbia University. Both are MSNBC political analysts. It's great to have both of you with us. So I want to start with this Trump lie that we played that clip there talking about earpiece and the vice president getting questions fed to her in real time. Let me just go back to 2020, and I'll play you this exchange that I had at the time with Steve Cortez. Watch. Your Trump campaign put out a statement saying that Joe Biden agreed to an earpiece inspection before the debate. All I'm asking you, where did you get that information from internally from with your campaign? Give me a name. You're buying ads. You're doctoring photos of putting earpieces in the candidate's ear. That's a fake advertisement. I'm asking you, where are you getting that information from? Why are you putting that false ad on there?
First, regarding the ad, I have not seen. This is the first time I've seen that, so I can't comment on it. If you had apprised me that we were going to discuss this, I would have been briefed on that.
It's there. It's there on your screen. Tens of thousands of dollars in swing states.
I'm not going to take your word for it, Eamon, and I'm not going to take MSNBC's word for it. I don't know if what you're presenting on the screen is accurate. Okay, well, I don't know that, and I don't know the context of it. Okay.
All right, so that was, it's the same tired playbook. In 2020, they accused Joe Biden of having an earpiece. They ran ads on Facebook with it, as we showed in that clip there. Steve Cortez came on the show, couldn't defend himself, said he didn't know anything about it. And yet here we are 4 years later, using the same lies against the vice president.
Yeah, like the vice president said, same old playbook, right. Same old playbook. Whether it's about lying about her or lying about the facts. But it is dangerous, and it's really important what you brought up at the beginning of the show, is that this is a threat to democracy. We have people in Washington right now and around the country trying to figure out how to make our election sites safe. That's crazy, if you think about it. Going to a vote on Election Day should be as safe a thing as possible. Here in New York, where Basil and I have both done countless elections, it's required to have 2 police officers. But election inspectors have a piece of paper. You have to act a certain way. Donald Trump wants to put 175,000 thugs out there. That's what he wants. And if you remember, this isn't new. Kari Lake talked about it in Arizona when she ran 2 years ago. Fortunately, nothing came of it. But these are really dangerous times.
And to your point, and this is the interesting thing, it's one thing for all of us who kind of track this and follow this to know that these are lies and they're spreading these lies. But you look at and there's this new survey, Associated Press and the National Opinion Research Center, showing that Republicans are more willing to trust Donald Trump than the official election results. And that's where the danger is, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's why he does what he does, because he knows that his base is solidly with him. There are already over 100 lawsuits circulating around the country, just as sort of preemptive on their part to lay the groundwork to challenge the election once it occurs. So this is part of a larger playbook that is both has a legal track, but it also has an intimidation track where there are people that are going to be out there at polls. There's already reporting in Florida about police challenging signatures on a ballot initiative. So this is a broader tactic. It's a dangerous tactic because it does have the intention of keeping people from the polls. So when you pair that with the comments that he's making about immigrant communities, particularly the Asian community, this is all about trying to keep people home. That is not what democracy is all about, and he's going to do it, by any means necessary, even if it, in this call and response thing he does, even if it amounts to violence.
And part of it is the chaos. If you create enough chaos, if you have hundreds of thousands of poll watchers at the polls claiming to watch, and then making false allegations that, hey, they saw something suspicious, they saw some ballots being taken out the back door at a polling center, they can create enough chaos, they can get enough officials to be like, hey, we got to look into it. I mean, look what they're ginning up in Ohio over a bunch of unverified, disputed, discredited, fake social media videos.
Yeah, but those are really real consequences. You had a school that had bomb threats. Exactly. A hospital today. And when it comes to the election, you're absolutely right. The danger and the chaos it creates will lead to more danger, because there's no way it just stops at, oh, does that signature match? Right. No, it's going to get ugly, and there's going to be threats. And I think, just like his legal tactics for all his many lawsuits, again, he's looking to delay. Donald Trump believes if you could get everything ready to go, or at least his team. That's the campaign they're fighting for, the post-election day one. If you could get lawyers to impound ballot boxes, to get the court cases out there, no way can an election be certified just by normal course, because the lawsuits are almost like pre-written.
Yeah.
And that's so again, it's intimidation, but he's going to use the legal system against our democracy.
How do you prepare for this if you are the Democratic Party, if you are the vice presidential campaign? Because on one hand, you have to assure Americans that our institutions, the processes that are in place to adjudicate the chaos that he's trying to foment, are strong enough to withstand that as they did in 2020. But at the same time, you have to be able to call this nonsense out and really take it head on.
There are multiple solutions. One is the most grassroots you can imagine. One of the things that I did when I started in this business, I started as a poll watcher. And I went into the polling site with a bag full of quarters to go call the campaign every half hour or hour to tell them what was going on at the site, to report turnout. So the fact that the campaign has signed up hundreds of thousands of volunteers, that means they've got an army all ready to do that. They don't have to use payphones like quarters like I did, but they've got the army out there to be on the ground at the polling sites. But I also know that they've got lawyers ready to challenge these cases, because they will come. Yeah. So between the lawyers and the grassroots volunteers that are making sure that even if you're standing online, if the law says if you're standing online when the polls close, you could still get in, to make sure that happens. And if you ask for water, in some instances, that's illegal, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
even
if it is legal, they're going to say something.
That's right.
That's right. Like, look at it. Oh, I saw it on TV.
I saw you get water.
And just make sure that somebody is standing 2 blocks away handing out water so they have it by the time they get in line. All of those little things matter.
And not for nothing, let's not forget, some of this is happening in carry states. Yeah. Open carry states. So that's a really scary thought.
Right. You show up to the polling station, you see somebody with a gun standing there. Legally, it's just still going to be intimidating no matter what.
Yes, it is.
Let me ask you about something. You had written about how Trump was, even as he was kind of flailing with Biden in the race, and that he's only gotten more desperate since the vice president has taken over and surged ahead of him a little bit. But do you think we are going to see more of this desperation in the final stretch, that it's just going to get uglier and nastier from Trump?
Absolutely. Because the Harris team is running a really smart campaign. And there will be, even if they don't debate, I promise you, there will be things out there to get under his skin in the same way. To me, we all heard about the rallies that Harris used, like said how people were bored. Yeah. But to me, the real powerful one was when she said economics from the Wharton School of Business.
Yeah.
Because most of America did not know what that meant, but it was Trump's alma mater.
Yeah.
And that he transferred into, just for the record.
Yeah.
And just saying. But, like, so it's that kind of thing that can get under his skin, and only he has to hear it, which is great.
I'm willing to bet that may be 1 degree that the Wharton School probably was. I'm just going to go on a hunch and say it. But, all right, guys, we're going to squeeze in a quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, because as Trump lays the groundwork for a potential election loss, Congress is preparing for the possibility of another January 6th-style riot. We'll talk about that.
I'm getting vaccinated with Pfizer's pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Come on. I already got a pneumonia vaccine, but I'm asking about the added protection of Prevnar 20.
If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved in adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most common side effects were pain and swelling at the injection site, muscle pain, fatigue, headache, and joint pain.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
I don't want to risk ending up in the hospital with pneumococcal pneumonia.
That's why I chose Prevnar 20.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about the Pfizer vaccine for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen again.
Voltaren for long-lasting arthritis pain relief.
Trains. Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel. Clearing the way so you arrive exactly where you belong.
Work. Play. Blink. Relief. Work. Play. Blink. Relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Blink.
I'm not just an expert on eye care savings, I'm also an expert in looking good. Like when you wear Florence by Mills frames created by Millie Bobby Brown, only at America's Best. Talk about a big deal. Get 2 pairs of Florence by Mills frames for $119.95, exclusively at America's Best.
Eggs make all our family moments better, especially when they're Eggland's Best. Taste so fresh and amazing, deliciously superior nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Certain that's our ride? Yeah. Are you 4imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Experience certainty with 4imprint. High-quality promotional products, expert service, and guaranteed on-time delivery. Visit 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain. The best feeling is when we take off our bras. It's not true. So you take off your bra, but then you feel the weight. What's the solution? Honeylove bras are the most comfortable bras I've ever worn. No underwire, so there's never any digging into your skin. There is some boning on the sides to make it super comfortable and supportive. And one of my favorite parts, no back fat. Never. The back straps are so wide and so seamless. I could work out, I could run, I could dance, I could do anything. It's fun, it's beautiful, it's supportive.
Free 30-day returns. Shop now at honeylove.com.
Dave wanted to heat up his sex life, so he came to us. Rove Spark's dual action formula acts fast and lasts long. Now, when she wants the heat,
I got the spark.
We got you, Dave. Connect with a provider at rove.co/sparks.
Introducing Splenda Stevia. Grown by farmers to help people reduce sugar. Our plants are sweetened by sunshine. Grown on our farm. Enjoyed at your table.